Okay, very good afternoon to everyone. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, clearly audible, right? Okay. So yesterday we have just started a discussion about how we can handle files in C programming, right? So I showed you. I already discussed about the basic fundas that we actually use to handle files in C programming, right? And what are the various kind of predefined pointers or structures are generally used, which are stored into stdio.h header files, are generally used to handle those file operations, right? So there are various kind of file operations, or you can perform various kind of operations on file with the help of C programming, right? So in last class, I showed you how we can read contents, some contents from a file. It may be an integer content, or it may be a character content or string content. We can read it from a file with the help of C programming. And I also show if uh, there is no file exists, then how we can create a file in terms of writing some contents inside a file or into a file. So I have told, if you remember, I have told that for reading contents from a file, your file must exist inside of your system. Okay. Otherwise, it will give you error because the file pointers will return null. Okay, if the file doesn't exist, which you are trying to read. But in case of write operations, the file may exist or may not exist. Right? If it exists, then it directly opens the files and rewrite the new things which you want to write inside your file or into your file. It will actually override the old contents of the file with the new content. That is the job of the W mode or write mode, right? Now if you want to do some if the file doesn't exist in your system, then the write mode will create the file with the same name which you are providing as a file name inside your code, and it will create the new file, a blank file with the same name, and then it will provides you the space to write something, right? So these are the two programs which I have discussed or shown in the last class, right? So today I want to show some more programs how we can do some operations on file, right? Like the first program, which is also very important, that how we can copy a content of one file into another file. So in this program, there are two files are playing active role. The first one is the source file, where the contents are actually stored or already exist, and the second file is working like a destination file. That means destination file is such kind of file where you are going to copy the content from the source file to that destination file. Okay, so destination file can be a blank file, or it can be a file which has some previous content within it. But the problem is that if you are using W mode for copying, then the old content of the destination file will be overwritten by the new content of the source file. Okay, so you have to remember, if you want to add some contents as an extra line, or without, if you don't want to overwrite the old contents, then you will have to use A mode. A mode means the append mode instead of the write mode. Okay, but if you use write mode, then it will perform overwritten for you. That means the old contents will be replaced by the new contents, right? Now, for this two, obviously we will need two file pointer. I already told in the last class that file is actually structure type, which provides two pointers. Okay, here the first pointer will points to the first byte of the source file, and the second pointer will points to the first byte of the destination file. Okay, I think the file pointer concept is till now it is clear to you, because in the last class I already discussed it in details. And this file structure pointers is predefined, or it's actually stored inside the stdio.h header file. So when this header file is pre-processing, then this file structure or file pointer structure is automatically pre-processed. Okay, so the first file pointer is used to point to the first byte. I already told the file pointer automatically or by default points to the first character or first byte of your file. Okay, So F1 is used for pointing to the first character of the existing file or source file where you want to make a copy. Okay, and the second file pointer F2 here will represent a file where you want to paste that copy. Okay, or where you want to replace or overwrite the copy, right? So why I'm using replace overwrite? Because I'm using W mode here. Okay, so R mode I'm using for reading the contents, okay, from a source file, and W mode I'm using to writing that content or pasting that content into a destination file, right? So what is the name of our source file? Sanjay new.txt. What is the name of our destination file? Sanjay update.txt. So first, let's check the drive first. What are the file exist here? So if you remember, Sanjay new file is existing here because in the last class I already created that file for you, which contains some kind of statement or a collection of strings. Okay, but in this F drive, there is no existence of this file, that is Sanjay update file. So while we will run our code, obviously you can understand because of the W mode is there. So the W mode is there. That's why the Sanjay update file will be created here. Okay, a blank file will be created here. That file will be a .txt mode because we are making a copy and paste. So that's why the extension of both the files should be similar. Okay, so .txt file. So it will create the .txt file with this name Sanjay update. Okay, and then copy this entire content of the existing file. I am a student of GIS University. This is situated in Kolkata. So it will contain this entire strings into the source file Sanjay new, from the source file Sanjay new to the destination file Sanjay update. Right. So in this code, what I actually did, what I actually doing. So this concept is very much similar with the concept of file read. If you remember, these are file read operation I have used. Okay, so you can use this thing. You can use this three statement also here. Okay, I didn't use it, but if you want, then you can use it, right? Because I think you should use it. Why? Because it may be possible that a file, the source file which you want to read or which you are reading from your system, it may not exist. Then there should be a proper response that your program should give. Okay, so instead of FP here I'm using F1. Why? F1 is the source file, so it is actually checking. And then if the check is successful, then if the check is successful, sorry, if the check is not successful, that means if the F1 pointer does not return null, that means the file exists in the system. Sanjay new already exists in the system. Then this three statement, that means the while loop will executing, right? So within the while loop, what action I actually did, I actually read each and every character of the file one. F1 means which one? The source file, right? We actually read each and every character of the source file and stored into a variable C, character type variable C, right? Until you will find end of file character, EOF. EOF is another predefined character constant which is actually stored inside the error file stdio.h, right? Its full form is end of file. The abbreviated form is using here. So not equals to end of file. Up to that amount of time, or until that amount of time, it will actually reading each and every character and storing into C. Not only storing, by the this put C function, I am writing that one into another file, that is whose starting pointer location is F2. Then F2 is pointing to which file? Your destination file, okay, which will be created during this execution of this statement and W mode. And after creating that blank file with the name of Sanjay update.txt, it will, the F2 pointer points to the first character, the first blank character of this file. So whatever character you are going to read from this existing file, character by character, the copy paste will happen from source file to the destination file. And at the end of this code, we will simply close these two pointer which we have opened, one for destination file and another for source file. Okay, so we will run this code. Okay, the code has executed successfully. So we will check. We will check. whether any look, Sanjay update file has been already created, okay, which was not there earlier, right? So Sanjay new is your source file, and Sanjay update is your destination file. Now we will open this Sanjay update and check whether the destination file contains the similar contents or not. Yes, it contains the similar contents or similar data of the source file. This is the source file, okay, and this is the destination file. Clear? If anyone has any doubt regarding this code, you can ask me. Is it clear? This code is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everyone? What about others?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Clear? Very good. Okay, now I want to show you some new type of things. That means I want to do some sort of operations inside the file. Till now, I am showing that we are only reading contents, writing contents, or appending contents, or copy one contents of the file to another content. So these kind of things I have shown to you already. Now I want to show that I will collect the data from the file, and on that data we are trying to apply some kind of operations. So the upcoming two programs I am going to show these two logic. The first program which will define such a way that we are collecting the contents from a file, existing file, okay, or a new creating file, whatever it is. We will collect the content. Content means we will collect one number, okay, and we will check that number whether you have collected from the file whether that number is an even number or odd number. So even number, odd number logic you have already done multiple times, right? It's a very simple logic. If a number is modulo divided by 2 and if it will return 0, then it's a even number, and if the remainder is not 0 of that number, then it's an odd number. Very simple thing. But here we actually apply this concept or attach these concepts along with the file handling, right? That means we have to first create a file, okay. Suppose we are going to create a file with a name of, suppose, Sanjay. Okay, we can use an existing file as well. So I think we should use this file Sanjay update, which I have already created. Okay, because W mode will allow you to also use existing file, right? And then we are taking one input in the form of string. Okay, by the help of printf, we actually print that input inside the file. Okay, we will take the input through the console. Okay, we will take this input through the console. Gets means it's not a reading input from file, it's actually reading input from a console window. That means that black window. Okay, and fprintf means we are printing that input which we have taken from the console inside that file, whose starting pointer is declaring here. So f1 is starting pointer of this file Sanjay update, so we just rewrite that one. So whatever content we will take, we simply rewrite that one, because W mode is actually working to replace the old content. So whatever content the Sanjay update.txt is holding, that doesn't matter, because whatever input we are giving through the console, it's actually rewriting. Right. Now we will close the file operations. Okay, we will close that file pointer. You can close it, you cannot close it. Okay, it's your choice. If you close it, one thing you should remember: if you are going to use this f1 pointer in the very next line, then you will have to again open that f1 pointer. Okay, so what I actually did here, uh, I want to show it to you that if I will close that pointer, okay, if I will close that file pointer here, that means I have created the file with the name of Sanjay update.txt, or I will actually overwrite the content of the file with the name of Sanjay update.txt that is actually stored inside the F drive or F folder, and then we will again use the F open function to read the content from that file. Very simple. We'll again open the F1, the similar file pointer, to read the content of the file with the help of R mode or read mode. Right. Now, while we are reading, this is the reading content. Okay. Here you can use that fp equal to null. That logic you can use if the reading file doesn't exist, then it will gives you the error. Okay. That you can use. That you have to use for all the program. That is a good coding style during the file handling to handle the error if the file doesn't exist. Okay, but for sake of simplicity, I just skip that one. So I directly go into that while loop. So we will actually reading each and every characters, okay, from the file, and then we will check whether the character is mod 2 is equal to 0, right? That means the number which we are providing inside the file, that the number is an even number or odd number. So it will print accordingly whether number is even number or odd number, and then we will close the file pointer F1 again at the end of this code, right? So we will simply run it. So Sanjay update is there. We don't bother about the content that Sanjay updates is storing. Okay, because whatever we will be write here, it will actually replace. So I have put down the value 5, which has been written, and it will consider as an odd number. Okay, let's rerun this file, rerun this code for the even number again. So here I have given 8. Okay, so data output is for even number. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes,
Even
sir.
number, odd number. So you can take it instead of characters, you can take it these things in terms of numbers as well. Okay. So how we can take numbers, that I already told you. By the get w, put w, you can save or store numbers in the form of integers. Okay. So numbers taking is a good thing here, because it actually converted into ASCII value at the back end. But the thing is that if you do these operations in the form of integer, that will be more suitable or preferable. So I will do the same job for you in case of this file factorial program. Okay, file factorial program. So one thing you should remember, by default, the value that file is actually taking as character. Okay, by default, the value the file is actually taking as character. So you have to, if you want to change it into a character to a corresponding numbers, then you have to use this concept. I have used it here. So what is the main objective of this program? The similar objective just like even and odd. So if we want to calculate the factorial, okay, so we have to take the number from the file, okay, uh, and we'll perform the factorial operations and provide the output of that factorial. So let me show you that file which I have taken for the even or odd. So if you remember, in case of even or odd, the last number I have given 8, which was shown as the output as even number in the program, right? So here in factorial finding in this program, I have used one input.txt file with write mode, W mode, right? So it is not there. Obviously, this input.txt doesn't exist inside the drive, so it will create that file. Okay, and then you will take the input from the console to the terminal or to the keyboard, and then you will write that input, the number, in the form of string or text into the input.txt file. Okay, and then you are going to close the file pointer here. Okay, now we will again open the file pointer and read the contents from the same file which we have created earlier, right, with the read mode. Now we will read each and every character of the file until we will reach up to end of file character UF. Now here we cannot directly apply the factorial on this C character, which we can apply in case of even odd, but here we are not allowed to apply. Okay, it doesn't give a correct output. You can try, it doesn't give a correct output. Okay, so you have to take these things in the form of numbers and then you can apply, or I am going to convert this character into its corresponding integer form. Okay, and how we can do this conversion? By subtracting the ASCII value of the 0 from each and every character. Subtracting the ASCII value of the 0 from each and every character. So you will get the corresponding value of that character. Okay. So then we will apply the factorial logic. This logic is very much familiar to you. Okay, how we can apply the factorial logic? Okay, so this is a factorial logic, and that will be applied on the value of fact, which we have initialized as 1, and this is the loop. Okay, I equal to 1 to n. And what is that n? N is actually this converted number from character to integers, right? And then we will print the factorial result. And then after completion of this while loop, okay, then we will suppose the file pointer f1. Let's run this code. Suppose the value which we want to check the factorial of that number we have given here as 5. So the factorial is 120. Clear? Need to run again. 4 factorial of 4 is 20. Is it clear to everyone? How we can find the factorial?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Listening.
বলছিলাম যে কি বলছেন যে স্যার
Speak in English. Ask in English.
it will be all work the single digit
Can you repeat?
because
Your
we are
voice is breaking.
getting the
He's asking it will work for only a single digit. He's asking for this.
This factorial, I didn't check it yet. Okay, you can check it. If it doesn't work for the more than one digit, then you should change the code accordingly. Okay, I didn't check it. I have checked for the single digit only. Two actually it will consider we are taking it as a character. So that's why individual digits it will consider as a one character. That's why it is not working. Okay, that's why it is
We
not
have to
working.
use case. That's what we have to use
Yes,
a string character.
Yes. You need to modify this code for the double digits. You can understand the problem because I have given 2 digits as the input, like 1 or 2, which I have shown already. So the first one will be read and it will be converted. Then it will calculate the factorial of 1. And then for the second, the 2 is converted and then it will calculate the factorial of 2. So in such kind, it will give you the 2 different factorial. Let's check it out for the largest digit. So it should be given, I think it should give 24 and 120. Clear? Understand? Understand? Hello?
yes sir
So 2. So you can modify this code accordingly. So that I'm leaving to you. You can modify it. Okay? You can modify it. One more thing which I forget to show you. Let me show you how we can use the append mode. Okay, just for your experience, I'm going to show it. So we have that file sanjaynew.txt, right? So let's check it out. Sanjaynew.txt. This is the sanjaynew.txt file. So in this file, this is the content of the file. I am a student of this university, and this is situated in Kolkata, right? So during with the help of append mode, what we're trying to do, we are trying to append or add some extra information at the end of that file without deleting the previous information, right? So rest of the code, I think I don't need to change. Okay. So just run it, and suppose here I'm written, I am the faculty of this university. Suppose this extra statement I have written. Okay, and let's check it out whether it is added at the end of the old content or not. It is not added. So let's check out the problem first. Can anyone show any kind of problem? See any kind of problem here? We have opened the file in append mode. Then we will take some string or sentence as the input, and then we have write that one into the existing file. Sanjaynew.txt is an existing file.